Oh man, can you feel it? This is the last level of geometry. All we have to do is finish out level 10 and you are done. I bet that feels pretty good. So, let's stop wasting time talking about how close you are to being finished, and let's actually just talk about the area of shapes. Now, this should be a review for most of you, but you know what? These formulas are going to help you so much in this level, so pay attention close, okay? Make sure you know these formulas for finding area of different shapes. Now, what is area? Just like conceptually, let's talk about what area is. Area is just a measure of how much space there is in a shape, okay? So you're just figuring out how much space there is in a shape. For example, you might remember that this is a rectangle. We've seen one of these guys before. And this is the inside area. This is how much space there is in the shape. Now, if I wanted to figure out exactly how much space there was, all you have to do is remember this formula for a rectangle. Area is equal to length times width. All right? And that's for a rectangle. So if I wanted to find the area of this rectangle, I would do the area. I'll just do A, is equal to the length, which is 6, times the width, which is 5. Notice how you don't have to put inches. You'll just save that for end. And so the area of this rectangle is 30. And the units are important. We always put the unit squared. That is just telling you how many dimensions there are. It's 2 dimensions. That's why we put inches squared, okay? That's inches in the second dimension. So, that's how you find area, and that is what area is. So for a rectangle, remember, it's length times width. Now let's explore some other shapes and how to find the area of them. Okay, for our second shape, we have a square. All right. Now, for a square, you might remember this formula, but to find the area of a square, it's just one side squared. All right. And that's because basically every side is 12. You could fill in all the sides with 12, but all you have to do is find one side and square it. So the area of this square would be equal to 12 squared. All right, so the area here is 144. No units are given, so we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so remember, it's always a side length squared. For a, what's this thing called again? Oh yeah, that's a triangle. So for a triangle, you might remember this formula. It is 1/2 the base times the height. All right, 1/2 base times height. So you'll see there's a bunch of numbers here that we've put in here, but we just need the base and height. So the base is this guy that I'm highlighting in blue. Okay, that's your base. It's on the bottom. And the height is this guy. And the height is also always an altitude. Ooh, the height is always an altitude. Meaning the height will always the height always makes a 90-degree angle with the base. So the height is your altitude. So now that we know the height and the base, we don't need these numbers. Those are just extra. Like, get out of here. We just need that base times the height. So the area is equal to 1/2 the base, which is 10, times the height, which is 3. So the area is equal to, you can put that in the calculator, but however you want to do it, but you'll get 15. So the area of Mr. Triangle is 15. So remember, it's just 1/2 the base times the height, and the height is your altitude. All right, in a circle, this should be a review from level 9. You remember this guy. This is a circle, right? And I bet you already know this formula. The area is equal to pi r squared. So in this case, we're given the diameter is equal to 6. So we know a radius is just half of that, which is 3. All right, so to find this one, we do area is equal to pi times 3 squared. And you know what? Let's just leave this guy in terms of pi. So we're just going to square the 3, and we get 9 pi. All right, so these are all the formulas you'll be needing for level 10. These formulas to find area is just going to help you out. You'll see what I'm talking about, but you got to know them, okay? So we have a rectangle, we have a square, we have a triangle, and we have a circle. And we know how to find the area of each one of these figures. Now, let's actually, it's a little more difficult because you're probably like, I got that, that's easy. But we're just going to do something a little bit more challenging. And for these, we're actually going to start finding the area on the coordinate plane, all right? We're going to find the area of shapes on the coordinate plane. So let's start with our first one. It says in rectangle cats, well, that's a good keyword there. It actually tells us that it's a rectangle. We have these 4 coordinates, -8, 2, that's our C. We have -2, 2, that's our A. We have -8, -5. That's our t. And we have s, which is -2, -5. Oh, man. Now, we want to find the area of cats. Now, I want to say something. I've actually done this wrong. It should be CATS. I violated actually what I taught you in the first lesson of the year. Nope. I messed that up. That would be CAST, so that'd be cast. Unimportant. We're going to find the area of cast. Stupid seagull. God. We're still going to find the area, though. So this is actually pretty easy because in this case, the lines are straight. And remember, when you have straight lines, all you got to do is count them, right? So if I wanted to find the area of this rectangle, we'll just count the units. So for our length, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And for our width, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's a 6 by 7 rectangle. So the area of our rectangle, and we always write our formulas first, is length times width. All right, so our area here is going to be equal to 7 times 6. So our area in the end is equal to 42. All right, and once again, the units, they don't have a measurement. It's just 42 straight up. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's make it a little more complicated though, okay? Now for our next one, we have a square. It says in square ABCD, the coordinates of A are 4, 6. All right, so let's go to 4, 6. And B is 7, 10. So we got 7 and we got 10 up here. All right, and that's AB. And it says find the area of the square. And it's like, oh, come on, really? Where's the rest of the square? How am I supposed to find the area? And you don't need the rest of the area because, one, each side is the same length, right? So all you need is one side length. And two, we can find this side length. And because the area is just going to be one side length squared. So we just need the length of any one of the sides. And we have one. We have AB. So you might be saying like, well, okay, so the area is 1, 2, 3, and no, we cannot count diagonally. You know that. So how are we going to find the length of AB if it's diagonal like that? Well, at this point in the year, you should be like, Mr. Siegel, it's distance formula, and damn, you're right, you are correct. We got to do some distance formula. So we're going to do distance is equal to, and we're going to find the distance between these 2 points. So follow me. We're going to write down our formula, x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. The distance is equal to, let's plug this all in. So x1 is 4, x2 is 7, y1 is 6, y2 is 10. All right, so the distance is going to be equal to the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared, actually negative 3 squared plus negative 4 squared. The distance is equal to positive 9. Remember, when you square a number, you always get a positive. The distance is equal to, follow me, the square root of 25. So the distance is equal to 5. That is, the square root of 25 is 5. If I went too fast, you could slow this down, put it on slow motion. Maybe you could catch how fast I did that. All right, but we found out that the length of AB is 5. Very nice. So what are we going to do? We're just going to plug that into our formula now. So I'm just going to erase this. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to get rid of all that. Byes. Okay? You can rewind it if you still need it. But so our area is equal to side length squared. So the area is equal to 5 squared. So the area is equal to 25. That's nice and clean. Thank you. Okay. Beautifully done. All right. And so we didn't need the rest of the square. I know it would be something like this, but you know what? You just need one side length because you know all the side lengths are equal. Pro tip. Now for our last one, we're going to find the area of a triangle on the coordinate plane. Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about this, but let's start with this, okay? On the coordinate plane, the vertices of cat are -1, 0. So let's go to -1, 0. We have 2, 6. So we'll go to 2, 6. And we have t, which is 6, 4. So 6, 4. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay. Find the area of CAT. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Now, let me tell you something about this, all right? When you have a triangle on the coordinate plane, all right, if it is a right triangle, then you know just the legs are your height and base. Now I'm going to say that again. If it's a right triangle, then your legs are the height and base. So follow me down here for a second, okay? Let me just draw an example off the coordinate plane. Let's say I had this triangle right here, okay? And that's a right triangle. If that's a right triangle, your base is here and your height is here. So that's your base and that's your height. And those are the legs, not the hypotenuse, of your right triangle. So if it's a right triangle, all right, all you need is the two legs of the right triangle, all right, not the hypotenuse. So if we want to find the area of this guy, all right, we just need to know the two legs of a right triangle, potentially this guy and this guy. But first, we got to find out if this is a right triangle to see if we can do that. And so we're going to back it up. So step one, if I can find the area of this, I need to first prove that this is a right triangle. So you might remember we got to find the slopes of all the sides. So let's just do that, okay? And I'm looking at this, you know what, I'm just going to say, let's find the slope of AT and CA. Those looks like legs to me. So follow me, we're going to count this. So the slope of AT is, well, let's see, I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 2. So I had to go down 2, so it's -2 over 4, which reduces to -1/2. Okay, now to get from C to A, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then over 3. So I went up 6 and went over 3. That gave me 2. Let's drop a 1 under there. Just makes it easier. And so yes, these are perpendicular, so we know this is a right triangle. So since I know this is a right triangle, if I know the lengths of CA and AT, those are my legs, okay? These are my two legs. That's therefore my base and height, and therefore I can find the area because the area is equal to 1/2 base times height. Ooh. So now you might be saying, well, how are we going to find the lengths of AT and CA? And hopefully you didn't say that because we've learned how to do that. We do the distance formula. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say to you, please do the distance formula yourself. Pause the video. All right. I'm not going to spend this whole time showing you how to do it. Pause the video and see if you can get what is the length of CA and what is the length of AT. All right. And if it's a radical, just keep it under the radical and leave it there. But we got to find those if we're going to answer our question. Okay. So pause the video now and find it yourself. All right, so if you've done that correctly, you found out that CA is the square root of 45 and AT is the square root of 20. That's fine. We'll just leave it like that. All right, so now let's plug into our area formula. So the area is equal to 1/2 the base. You could choose either one. It won't matter. That's square root 45 or square root 20 times the square root of 20. All right, so now we're going to actually just put this into the calculator. Okay, so you can hear me using it. All right, so we're going to do 1/2. All right, so that's 0.5 times the square root of 45 times the square root of 20. Close that parenthesis. Boom. And guess what? That actually worked out really nicely. That's just 15. Whoa. And I thought that was going to be an ugly number. Well, that's it. So that's it for this lesson, 10.1. We're marching towards the end. Congratulations. Go take that quiz. You got this. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot what the advice. Go up to your mother and say, Mom, when I make it, I'm going to buy you a new house. All right? And don't laugh when you say it. All right? And just look her in the eye for 3 straight seconds after you say it so she knows you're serious.